Yo, what's up, you beautiful people? It's Koga here, back with another update to the Wintertide brand build. Now, as of last stream, I technically maxed it out. It has everything, including the shavs. I got the 6 link and under 100 fusings, thank God, because the cluster jewels were literally taking all of my currency, literally, and I still haven't finished that. So it's not really completely maxed out, but it's at a point where, honestly, I can just give you the guide already. But before we get into the guide, I wanted to give a quick update to some of the things that have changed since the last time you guys saw that first video about a week ago. The reason I'm making this video is because there's something that have changed, or a few things that have changed that I think substantial and more and are complex enough that it deserves its own attention. And it's kind of more like a tips and tricks video with a little bit of a guide. And then 2 days from now or 3, I'll give you guys the guide for the Wintertide. And there you can determine whether you want to play it or not, because honestly, it turned out to be a really, really good build. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we move on to the detail, guys, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kogaras. The link will be down below. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's basically a one-stop shop, including my Discord down below, by the way. For any questions you guys may have, or you guys want to just hang out, the community has been growing very rapidly, so thank you guys so much for that. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the build guides, and my information is helpful for any new player or even a veteran player to find a new way to play the game, But with that, let's continue. And with that, guys, I'm gonna show you guys a quick Mino map tier 16. I juiced it up a little bit with breaches, and I forgot some other thing there to make it at least a decent map. I show the full boss fight and everything. But the whole point of this is I want to show you guys the build at its current state with all the new changes and see if you guys can figure out what has changed. Because what I basically have done is kind of like a Spellslinger build. I've made it a one-click build where you don't have to spam a lot of spells while clearing, and only for single target you have to spam your utility. It makes the clearing so much more faster than probably your average Wintertide build. You probably notice it now compared to yours, if you're just starting out this Wintertide build. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and then after the map, we'll go into the detail, and I'll show you guys what I changed. Catch you there.
One of my captors felt no emotion.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Is ready at last. Same.
Yo guys, welcome back into the detailed section of the build. I hope you guys enjoyed the map. It was a tier 16. The map boss went down pretty reliably, considering that I haven't actually completely maxed out the build. I'm probably losing around 200,000 DPS per brand, which can be very substantial towards the end game. But it's at a point where it's solid enough to show you guys. So with that, you probably noticed something weird when I'm casting Wintertide. I would you see like a red arc. It was basically an arc coming out. And this was actually kind of cool, and it was also recommended by another community member. But he wanted to use Cold Snap, and I actually went against that. But overall, what you guys were seeing was me using a wand like this called Trigger a Socket Spell when you use a skill. This actually, this craft is not too rare. You'll find it if you go to Global 820. The craft itself costs like 3 chaos, and the guy charged me 5 chaos for the crafting fee, whatever. So 8C to craft it, right? So get your dagger. Make sure you have an open whatever suffix, and then you have this Trigger a Socket Spell when you use a skill. This is very cool because what happens is there's a fundamental flaw when it comes to the occultists, and the fundamental flaw is you can only get explosions if the enemy is cursed. And since Winterbrand is not hit, we can't do curse on hit and actually like explode from far. We have to use our blasphemy and walk up to the enemy, curse them because they know it's an aura. We have to get close range to them, then the curse applies, and then they'll blow up, leaving us to go into melee range, which I wanted to avoid. So my idea was I wanted to use a curse on hit ring, and then use a wand like this, so every time I cast Wintertide, as you see here, it shoots out an arc. And since arc chains, that arc will then curse the enemy from afar, and they will get hit, of course, with the curse, and then they're more like, not more likely, they become, it enables this to happen where they explode because they're cursed from afar. Basically making you a more range of a build. However, there was a nerf to to the arc, and let me show you guys real quick. If you guys see here, it says that the arc's cooldown is 4 seconds. So they nerfed it. It used to be like 0.3. I wanted to spam it a lot, but having it in 4 seconds kind of sucks. Until I realized something. If you guys also look at here, I'll take out, let's take out Vault Discipline. I said before, the build uses Elemental Overload, right? And since you have to, you deal a crit in order for the Elemental Overload to proc, we do want to link increase critical strikes. And before I was using Orb of Storms. So this was my initial plan, to use Arc, increase crit, so it crit more often, and Orb of Storms. What I didn't realize was that even though the trigger is a 4-second cooldown, any other spell has its own separate cooldown. So basically, we have this and that. And so, the delay between each spell is very small. So, let's say in the first, you pop Arc, you have a 4-second cooldown with that, but then you have Orb of Storms for the next cast. And by the time you kill, another pack or something, the Arc is already up again. So, it makes the speed actually a lot quicker and very nice because that means you don't have to constantly, spam Wintertide, and then Orb of Storms, Wintertide, Orb of Storms, Wintertide, Orb of Storms. Because Wintertide will not proc Elemental Overload for you. It can't crit, it doesn't hit, it can't crit. So you're losing out that damage during clear. So here's a cool thing, right? My initial plan was to use Cold Snap so that, if I put here Cold Snap, every time I cast, it summons a Cold Snap. There's a problem, the fundamental problem with that. Cold Snap hits for cold damage. A lot of cold damage, actually. I'm very surprised. 14 to 21k. Since it hits for cold damage, it's going to proc Elemental Overload, causing them to get increased cold resistance because we hit them with Cold Res. That's why you do not want any added cold spell damage to your wands, to your rings, and please do not use Herald of Ice. It's only going to hurt you. It adds cold damage, which means you're giving them resistance, and it applies to all spells no matter what. So you don't want that. So I liked Arc. It hits for lightning. I made sure it had no damage. You see here, Arc only does 656 to 3713 lightning damage. So no matter what, it's going to lower the res, their cold res by -50 because I'm hitting with an opposite element. But yeah, so what happens is now, when we cast Arc, because we have increased crit, it's highly likely that on a Wintertide cast, we have Elemental Overload while casting. On top of that, their resistances are removed by -50. So, this is amazing. This is double, basically our Wintertide for clear got doubled. It's absolutely insane. Our clear speed just skyrocketed once I got this wand done, and I really wanted to try it out. And that's the reason I wanted to use Cold Snap, because yes, while you can link Bone Chill, causing them to take a lot of cold damage, they're going to have increased cold res, and that's going to only hurt you. While an Arc, Orb Storms is going to benefit you massively. So I'll give you guys a quick show out so how this works, right? Let's go to the little shrine over here. That's an immune shrine. Never mind, not that shrine. Of course, there'll be an immune shrine there. Let's go into a little area real quick. Some monsters, right? So you see here, that I just cast it once, and they all died. Because the Arc chained between all the monsters, giving them -50 cold res, and it also hit my crit and gave me, what is it, 30% more damage? 40% more damage, right? So basically, I basically made Wintertide a 1 proc skill where I don't have to do anything, you know? I just have to walk around, click Wintertide once, and we're clearing. You may have that, you know, here and there because of the cooldown, that one Wintertide that doesn't cast Arc or Orb Storms, but it's perfectly fine. Let me see if I can snipe this at immunity real quick. Nope. Come on. Oh, I did take it. Okay, we're fine. There you go. So on top of that, with the Arc and the Wintertide, with the Occultist pop, dude, you're getting massive explosions. Like, I'm casting once, guys. And I know all you guys are complaining about Winter, what is it, Spellslinger not having good single target. Well, here you go. I gave you a freaking Spellslinger build, basically, right, with good single target. As you guys saw on the middle map, it was pretty solid. And I'll show you a boss fight real quick. Let me put back my stuff with Vol, what is it? Vol Rise Fire. So we kept Vol Watch's Fire. It was quite nice.
When I'm ready and not before.
You guys see here, I'm actually tanking it. Oh, I got a Hydra. Oh, nice. I haven't even done Hydra yet. Quite nice. So super solid. I would recommend it for hardcore as well. Some guy did ask me like, hey, why don't you take Vile Bastion instead? And Vile Bastion is very nice. You can see a singing in the background. Please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. PTSD. Okay. Why not take Vile Bastion? Vile Bastion gives a lot of ES regen. So basically we regenerate 1% of our energy shield per second for each enemy you kill up to 10%. So 10% of our ES would be what, 700 ES? No, 73 ES. Wait, no, 10%? It's 737, excuse me. So 700 ES regen is very, very nice. So this would basically make you like very smooth gameplay. However, I wanted the dual curse. So here's the thing, right? If you don't take Vile Malediction, you can take Vile Bastion and then take the extra curse. But I was very short already on points. I didn't want to do that. Because instead what I can do is I can take Malediction for more damage and then just get these two clustered nodes. Brush with Death, which gives you recover 1% of life on kill. It's instant, it's not recovery, which means that let's say that pack usually has 20 to 30 mobs. That's 20% of your HP or 30% of your HP back instantaneously. And then you combine that with Vile Invigoration, which gives you, you know, ES, damage over time. It gives you a little bit of regen. So it negates like ignites and poisons and things like that, which is quite nice. These two combined, I've had no problems with sustaining my energy shield. On top of that, for a boss fight or like an old, you know, that crazy moment, Vol Discipline is there to recover all your ES back like this. So with that, I'm perfectly fine. And I like that better than taking Whispers of Doom because this gives you damage, you know, 10% damage over time multiplier, ES damage over time. It's more efficient than taking this node, if you guys will understand what I'm saying. As you can see here, I haven't taken, I'm still missing the Cold Conduction Jewel. I have the Jewel itself, but I don't have a good enough large Jewel yet. I'm still missing a few points. I'm only level 91. The tree's level 94. I usually don't pass level 91 because of it's like highly unrealistic. I don't play a build for that long, but since this is my first character, I expected myself to play it a lot. Now, a cool thing that I did notice was that I did drop the Wise Oak because remember the penetration. I updated the guide there. Does not work on the build. I added Wise Oak because it was 5 chaos. In my head, I'm like, oh, cold damage. We want pen. No, it doesn't work. So I added Ruby's Concoction, and the reason for that is because we do have a shield, and that shield is Prim's Guardian, and it has 22% chance to block. So with Rumi's, we have 42% chance to block, which is decent. But that also means that if you guys look at the tree, Thread of Hope is not limited to 1. So you can actually put another Thread of Hope here with a very large cluster, a very large ring. It hits Room Binder, so you just gave these 3 points, and you can get Glancing Blows, which means it doubles your chance of blocks. You'll be cap blocked. Not cap block, block capped, which is nice. But my thing is that since your damage negation is 50%, I rather prefer the 40% full block damage over the 50% because it's only 1 more point. But unfortunately, these little nodes here, like brand damage, brand duration, and cast speed, these are pretty good nodes. They're not like super rare. I mean, they're pretty rare nodes for brand stuff like that. So I wanted to keep it anyway. But this is an option. It's only 1 more point more than the tree that I showed you guys. I'll put both of them in the description below if you guys want to go Glancing Blows and test it out for yourself. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I did remove the culling, simply because again, like I wanted to do culling with the arc thing, but I never did the curse on hit because at the end of the day I didn't need it, and because of the cooldown was so long. But you could still do it with Orb of Storms and arc. It's still viable. I just, you know, I didn't need it. It was perfectly fine anyway. My defenses were substantial where I didn't care. So instead I dropped the Culling Strike only because the second notable there was no notable that was really substantial enough for me to say it's worthwhile. You know, it wasn't like, you know, brand loyalty giving you 50% increased damage taken. The most you can get was like 5%, which is garbage. So I didn't bother with that. So right now my clusters are basically Holy Conquest, brand loyalty, still best jewel. And then you do want a exposure therapy for reduced chaos damage taken, and another deep chill. You want a brush of death, another deep chill, and then we do have a vile invigoration, which we should have a vile invigoration. You don't really need it as much as brush of death, but I'll update it. I guess I forgot to put vile invigoration. One of these deep chills would be a vile invigoration just to offset the ignites and the poisons. I do have it on my main tree, and it's working out pretty well, and I like it a lot. It does give extra energy shield as well. So we're sitting at 7.6 right now. I'm at 7.3. I am missing this one humongous like this thing Tranquility. This thing's huge, right? Because if you take our present trailer, it's like 145k dot DPS. It's insane for one anoint. It's expensive because it's 2 golden oils, and 2 golden oils are like, I think what, 200 chaos or something like that. But that pretty much covers it. I want to separate this from the build guide because I think it was complex enough and useful information enough where I didn't want the entirety of like the 30-40 minute build guide to overshadow this, because this is usable on any build, honestly. And I thought it was pretty cool for you guys to see. On a very quick note, and probably the most important thing, honestly, let's be real here. This fucking shield is gorgeous, dude. This is the new shield called, what is it? Emperor's Vigilance Skin. It's the one I believe that gives you glancing blows and all that ES, you know, weird stuff. It's very cheap. It's like 1 chaos a drop for me. And oh my god, is it like the perfect for this build. It's so pretty. I did a microtransaction over it, and I didn't even use the MTX that I bought. But yeah, just to give you guys a little quick, you know, update to the MTX. Very, very nice. I really like that shield. But that pretty much covers it. Let's go into the outro. And with that, guys, that pretty much wraps up the little update that I made for the Wintertide brand build. Yes, for anybody knowing, I'm going to make the build guide 2 to 3 days time this week from the point of this video's upload. And there will be the usual, you know, the build guide and everything, and the montage and the more, you know, the full summary of everything. The only thing that I'm left to do is probably kill Shaper because I ran out of time on stream, but that'd be pretty easy to do. I just buy the set and, you know, go ham. And I got a Hydra map today, so yay. So with that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the content. You know, if you guys liked it, leave a like, subscribe, the usual thing. If you guys want to see more of this. But yeah, guys, enjoy the farm, continue harvesting, and I'll catch you in the next video. Good luck.